Some quick points on Naso and the holiday of Shavuot that just passed that we could, B'ezrat Hashem, take with us to the future to elevate ourselves and change. Okay, some questions I want to ask. First off, maybe 5 questions. Number 1, it says in this week's Parashat Naso b'nei Gershon, or anytime it talks about counting Am Yisrael, Kitisat Rosh B'nei Yisrael, Seu et Rosh B'nei Yisrael, right? You're always lifting. Why don't we use the word lispor? Why do we use the word Naso? That's 1. 2, it says that the Kohanim should put their hands forward when they bless us. Why should they put it forward? Why can't they put it to the sides? What's the idea of them putting it forward? 3, talks about Korah. Korah, how did he die? Moshe prayed to Hashem that the ground should swallow him up. Why was that the punishment befitting Korah? Right? What does that do with anything? We're going to see. Right now, since we spoke also that Shavuot just passed, so let's take some ideas from Shavuot. Shavuot, we read Megillat Ruth. Ruth was the great-grandmother of Shlomo HaMelech. Some say she was even alive during the time of Shlomo HaMelech, and he actually sat her down next to him. So when he wrote Eshet Hayil, he had her in mind. And for all the women that worked so hard over this holiday, this one's for you, right? So it says over there, Eshet Hayil mi'imtza v'rachok mi'penini michra, right? So first question is, why is it so hard to find her? Mi'imtza v'rachok mi'penini michra. She sells something from afar that's worth more than pearls. What makes it worth so much? Lastly, it says Oz v'adan lebusha. But she'll laugh on the last day. On the last day she's going to laugh, but she's not going to laugh throughout her whole lifetime. Well, she has the last laugh. What's going on over there? What about the husband? Well, the husband's actually also mirumaz in Eshet Hayil 3 times. It says Bat tahaba lev ba'ala v'shalai lo yachsar. Right? He trusts in her. It says Nodat b'sharim ba'ala b'shivtom ziknei aretz. Her husband is known because he's amongst the great people. He learns with them. He studies Torah. Right? And also Kamu b'nei v'yishroa ba'ala v'halala. Also, her children praise her, and her husband also praises her. So you see the idea of positive encouragement and so on and so forth. But if you actually take the Rashet Tevot of everything I just mentioned, Patahla lev bala, Noda b'sharim bala, Kamu banea, it's Bet, Nun Kuf, Bank. If he's a bank to his wife, she'll be happy. So now what's the answer to everything I just mentioned? There's a difference, the answer is there's a difference between patience and tolerance. Savlanut and Orech Ruach. Someone who's patient, he can only accept so much until he breaks. Someone that has orach ruach, someone that is tolerant, he's tolerant because he has a goal in mind, right? Let's take, for example, driving. If we would drive right now and we'd only pay attention to the car in front of us, there'd be a lot of stops in the road, a lot of bumps. But if we pay attention to the cars in the distance, you'll see things will flow more. The same idea when you're raising children in Shalom Bayit. Actually, if you think about it, it's called nisuin. Why nisuin? To lift up. Naso, meaning in the distance. The first year of marriage is the toughest year. Why? Because everyone is too busy sweating the small stuff. Every little detail. Oh, you did like this. Oh, you did like that. The idea behind it is to look at a distance. Take a plan for yourself. What do I want to see in my husband or my wife in 5 years from now? Now that pressure will fall off your shoulders. Who better than, right now we passed the whole time Sfat Omer and Rachel and Rabbi Akiva. Who better than Rachel? When she had Rabbi Akiva, everyone knew what level he was on. But what? She said, in 12 years from now, that's when I'm going to go pick a bone with him. That's when I'm going to go and ask, where are you? Did you become this Rabbi Akiva or not? But throughout the whole process, let me give him his space. Let me give him his time to develop, and so on and so forth. Rabbi Akiva himself, what he went through with his students, right? They all died in the beginning. He didn't give up there because he had a long-term goal, right? You see, like Korah that we mentioned earlier, right? It says that Korah, the Rizal writes that Korah was a Gilgul of Cain. What happened to Cain? Cain, he brought a korban. Hashem didn't accept it, but he accepted Hevel. He got jealous. He killed Hevel, right? So what happened was Hashem told him, why? Why did you do that? Im tetiv se'ed. Why is your face, your countenance so down? Im tetiv se'ed. If you want good, look at a distance. I didn't accept it now. I'll accept it later. Just make yourself better, right? Ve'im lo lepetach hatat rovetz. But if not, if you're going to look at right now, then that's it. You'll fall. The Yetzer Hara is waiting right there. So what happened was Moshe, says the Ari, was a Gilgul of Hevel. So Moshe, when he was arguing with Korah, Korah said, Lama titnaseu. Why are you always looking ahead? Why are you always dealing with the later times? Why not with the right now? The minute he saw Korah said that, he said there's no hope to him. He came to this world to work on seeing things at a distance, and he's not getting it, then the ground has to open up and swallow him. Let him remember what he did then. The same way the ground swallowed up the blood of Hevel, let it swallow him up now. Maybe something will change. Now lastly, regarding the story of Ruth, right? If you look at Ruth, it says in the Masechet Brachot that why was she named Ruth? Because David HaMelech satiated Hashem with his song and praise. Then call David Ruth. Why are you calling her Ruth? Why? Because in her conversion, she didn't convert because she loved the family she was going into or love the guy. She had a goal in mind. She wanted to bring children into the world that would change the world, that would elevate the world, that Mashiach could come out from. Hence, she was zocheh to have that child. May we all be zocheh, B'ezrat Hashem, to work on this idea of tolerance, to work on seeing things in the future. Actually, lastly, one last point on Shavuot. I heard it beautifully from Rav Shlomo Yaakovson from Israel. He says, on Shavuot, right? Shavuot is supposed to be the marriage between us and Hashem, right? If you go to a wedding, who's the bride? Everyone knows who's the bride. The bride is the one that wears the dress. Who's the hatan? Who's the groom? Nobody really knows until when? Until the wedding's over and he walks off with the bride. The same idea. Shavuot is now over. Who's the hatan? You know who's the hatan? Whoever walks off and continues to grow with the Torah. Shabbat shalom.